Practice, practice, practice. That's the only way you're gonna get any better. Yes, how often you practice is very important, but what's more important is how you practice. Just because your wheels are spinning does not mean that you're going anywhere.
What, and I'm not?
Sticking feathers up your butt does not make you a chicken.
You might have noticed this. We've all experienced this. More practice time does not necessarily equal more skills. And that's frustrating because the art of practicing is a skill all on its own. During this video, I'm going to take you through one of my very own practice sessions, and I'll show you one by one as they come up the techniques that you should and could be using every single time that you practice. And don't forget to like and subscribe, otherwise you might miss more great practice tips just like these. Tip number one is to work towards a specific goal. My goal today is to be able to run scales and modes fluidly up and down the neck of my 6-string bass while keeping in mind the notes that I'm playing. Your practice goal will be different from mine because you're not me. Your practice goal might involve better timing, right? Precision timing. Maybe you're learning to improvise over a set of chords or to a specific song, create a solo. Maybe you're looking to do variations on arpeggios or some other exercise that you've learned. So I want you to tell me right now in the comments, what is your goal today? What are you working on? What skill are you trying to attain with your instrument? Tip number two is to be specific. If you're creating an exercise or a practice session to attain a specific skill, you need to create the exercise with specific parameters. So my exercise today will be to play randomized 3-octave scales, ascending and then descending at 104 beats per minute, thinking about the notes as much as possible as I go. Now that is very specific, right? There's a lot of metrics to hit there. There's a lot of parameters, but that's because I'm trying to attain a specific goal. It's much harder to achieve specific results without specific parameters. By putting yourself in a box, in a tight little box, right, and having to play exactly what it is you say you're going to do, then you're not really challenging yourself very much. So be specific in what it is you're going to do. Tip number 3 is to be creative. Think outside the box, right? Put yourself in a little box, but think outside of it. So my creative contribution to today's practice is to use a random number generator. So I'm thinking, how can I get better at really ripping scales up and down the neck while thinking of my notes? Well, usually what I'll do is I'll just start with a C scale. And this is a typical thing that we fall into during our practice time. We're like, I'm going to practice my scales, right? And so we go to play a scale and we go, okay. Ah, good, I practiced my scales. Oh, I'm so much better. No, you're not any better because you're practicing more than likely the same thing that you did yesterday and the day before and the day before that. So we have to get creative into tricking our brains into learning something. But by randomizing the note that I start on and the scalar mode that I'm asking myself to play, I'm forcing myself to be able to play any one of these scales or modes randomly. So by being creative, I am going to get variations on that. And in your practice time, that's really the key word, variations. Sure, you can play that scale or learn those notes or whatever it is you're working on, but how many different ways can you do that and still be successful? Okay, those are the 3 tips to get us started to set up the parameters of my practice session. I'm going to start my practice now, and you'll see the other 2 important tips pop up as I use them. Okay, so I've got my phone here. I've got a random number generator on here, and I am going to randomly select numbers 1 through 12. So I've typed in 1 through 12. I'm going to hit generate now, and that says number 7. So what that means to me, because I've already defined this in my very creative construction of my practice session, is I'm going to choose 7 o'clock on the circle of fifths. Okay, so it doesn't matter if that doesn't have any meaning to you because you're designing your own practice session, right? But just for an example, that's what I'm doing. So 7 o'clock happens to be D flat, so I'm going to say D flat major. Now I'm going to do another random number generation, and I'm going to say 1 through 7 this time. And I'm going to hit generate. That's going to tell me what mode of D flat I'm going to play today. So number 2. So I'm going to play the 2 mode of D flat, which is E flat Dorian. This is good. I actually don't practice my flat keys nearly as much as I should, so this will be a great way to take myself down a peg. I don't mean that in a bad way. By taking myself down a peg, I'm exposing a weakness of mine. In this case, can I play E flat Dorian with confidence while thinking about the notes? And I guess we'll see. Okay, I'm going to turn the drums on. 104 beats a minute, 3-octave scale, E flat Dorian. Here it comes. I'm not 100% sure that I got that, so let's try it again. That was okay. That was good. That was actually pretty good. I did notice a couple of things that were going on inside my head as I was going. One is I wasn't thinking about the notes as much as I really wanted to. I was really using the pattern, and part of this specific design is that I think about the notes. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll show you how. And the other thing is that I was sort of getting lost. Not lost, but hesitating in the pattern as I got up into here. So tip number 4 is to be flexible. I don't want to just achieve having done this. I want to get something out of it. So I'm going to be flexible in the way I approach this. I'm not going to say, well, yeah, I checked that box, I did it. I'm going to explore a part of this exercise. So first I'm going to play through really thinking about the notes and without the drums, making the learning more important than the actual execution of the exercise. E flat, F, G flat, B flat, A flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat. I'm going to do that a couple more times to really try to absorb what notes I'm playing and really make that important. E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat. The other thing is that when I was right up in here doing this last shift, I got a little bit, I just hesitated a little bit. I could feel myself hesitating. So tip number 5 is to work through the hot spots. A hot spot is what I call it when you have a known location that you're likely to fail at. So I ran through this a couple of times and I felt that right in there that I was not confident I was hitting the right notes, or I felt like I was going to hit the wrong notes. So I'm going to work through that. Again, I'm exploring this section of it, and I'm specifically focusing on that thin spot in the Earth's crust where that volcano is likely to blow, right? That hot spot, that high likelihood of failure. Okay, I feel a little better about that. Let's try it again. That's the process. Work towards a goal. Be specific in how you work towards it. Be creative in the variations that you're asking yourself to perform. Be flexible in allowing yourself to rework the practice parameters as you go and hit those hot spots. Slow down and really work through them. We're not in a hurry, right? We're not in a hurry to get this done. We're in a hurry to make the most out of our practice time. As always, reach out to me at StepByStepMusic.com if you need more help, and be sure to check out the link below so you can get free access to downloads to all of my bass tabs and other exercises, as well as a free copy of my ebook on practicing with even more tips on how to make the most out of your practice time. I'll see you then.